Hey Professor, Doug Burwell here. How you doing? I decided to do a video with this assignment. Taking a pretty big risk here. But I've always wanted to do the video portion. I know that I can crank out a paper and proofread it, make myself seem really smart and intelligent, and I do that all the time. But I thought this would be a growing experience and a stretching experience for me, because I know that I'm not as good in front of a camera at all as I am behind a computer screen. But I thought I'd give this a shot, so that I hope this is enjoyable for both of us. So that being said, this is assignment 5.2 and part A, racialized society, and most of the information that is coming from this assignment is going to come from Divided by Faith, Evangelical Religion and the Problem of Race in America by Michael Emerson and Christian Smith, published in the year 2000 by Oxford University Press. So that being said, let's dig in and answer these questions that I'm super excited about. I've been really challenged and stretched and encouraged even by this class, and it's been a real good one. So I'm really excited about this. But your first question is, according to Emerson and Smith, what is a racialized society? Now, on Kindle Location 178, the authors give a really long definition that I'm not going to go into very much. It's just too long. But a racialized society or nation is one where race is a big deal, where it is impossible for you to not notice the differences and racial differences, and in our economics, in jobs, in our churches, and about every area. And in this place it talks about our social relationships, life experiences, what our government allocates, our society allocates in political, social, and even psychological rewards. So a racialized nation society is one where race is a big deal. And in the United States and all across the world, there's racialized societies, but no more so than here in the U.S. between African Americans and whites. So yes, we are definitely a racialized society with a long back history, and race is a big deal, and it's a problem. So question number 2. In what ways is claiming colorblindness counterproductive? In what ways is claiming colorblindness counterproductive? Now, this question really challenged me once I understood the answer a little bit better, because the reason why I say that is all my life I've always said I want to be colorblind. I don't want to look at other people's differences and see, different skin colors and differences and all those different things. But I've always said that I just wanted to be colorblind. But according to the authors, this actually causes a problem with racialized society, increases the problem of racialized societies, because when we're colorblind to other races and we're colorblind to their differences, we're also colorblind to their needs, and we don't see what their lives are like. We don't see where they're missing the marks, or what they need in society. And so when we remain colorblind and impervious to their world, and we're just in our own world, in our own boxes, we perpetuate the problem, because we're not meeting needs and we're not understanding those needs, and we can't reconcile our differences. So we can't be colorblind. We just can't. We have to realize that there are differences, and we have to realize that we need to meet the needs of others, and we need to share in their pains and sufferings. So question number 3, in your opinion, why does talking about race or ethnicity often become difficult and volatile? Why is it difficult or not for you to talk about race or ethnicity personally? Now, this one challenged me as well too. I wrote in an earlier paper, I grew up in all-white towns, a lot of racism. My parents weren't, thank God, they taught me differently, but I was still affected and impacted by some of my peers and people living in my community. And there's a lot of history, slavery and social differences and the civil rights era, and there's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, and the elephant in the room. And so yeah, it's uncomfortable because it draws up negative feelings, even hatred feelings, and fear, and just differences. And so it's uncomfortable because it draws up all these negative emotions. But the thing of it is that we do need to talk about it in order to reconcile. So it could be spiritual. Satan doesn't want our nation talking about these issues and reconciling. He would rather us be against each other. So we really do need to talk about them, no matter how uncomfortable they may be. And your last question says this: according to Emerson and Smith, in what ways does the organization and structure of the church contribute to the problem of racialization? This one really challenged my thinking. I couldn't believe it. I thought in the beginning it was that they were asking would the church, perpetuate the situation or make it, the racialization in a nation more difficult, perpetuate that problem. And the church doesn't actually do that directly. Okay, and it talks about it in the authors talk about it in the book. The church creates groups of people called in-groups, and you create these social groups, and you meet friends, and you marry in these social groups, and it's people like you, and friends, and family, and I mean, it's just, there's a lot of commonalities, and the church creates a place for you to be comfortable with people that you share things in common with. I mean, that's just the system, that's just the design. But for racialization of a society, for racialization of a nation, the church is actually perpetuating the problem because it separates the people. Because you have all these people of commonality, and especially race, in one place that are always, interacting with people like themselves, marrying people like themselves, socializing with people like themselves, but then they never are interacting or socializing or marrying with people of other groups. So that creates part of the problem. Now the authors go even farther and talk about this. Because we are in these in-groups, and because we are always socializing with people that we're common with or have common, commonalities with, we don't see the needs of other people outside of our groups, the outside groups, and so we don't meet those needs. So that can perpetuate the problem with racialization too, when we're not meeting their needs. And lastly, the authors go into the fact that the church historically has also been pretty weak in combating tough issues like racism, as well as many others, because people fund the church with donations, because you can't give out your political ideas within a church, you can't talk about those hot topics and subjects because people will get offended and angry and leave the church. So historically, the church has been very weak and not had a lot of bite in tackling hot topic issues like racism. So those are a lot of the indirect ways, and even direct ways, I guess, with the racial, or with that last one, how the church has perpetuated the situation. So that's my video assignment right there, all 4 questions, 5.2a. Professor, I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that I've really enjoyed this class. So that's what I have for you. Thank you so much.